Alright, what I'm doing here is I'm going to cut out, radius out rather, the second half of the fretboard here. Now this, down here is the operation we did in the last video I did. And what we're going to do now is do this part of the fretboard. And we're going to do the roughing operation, and I'll show you that on camera. Then I've got to do another smoothing operation, which I won't show on camera because I showed you this smoothing operation. So this is like a two-part process. So I want to be able to get my zero coordinates exactly. So I set this up again, which is what I used to place it the first time. Okay, I'm getting ready to zero out my bit now. And I like to use the zeroing blocks, or whatever you want to call them. I am probably wrong, but I think it's a matter of opinion. I tend to believe that it's more accurate than using the paper method. So I'm going to just do the first two first, the X and the Y axis. Then I'm going to mount my piece in here, and then do the Z axis based on the top of the piece. I know the piece is going to go down in this corner, which is why I'm doing it this way. At any rate, a couple of things that are interesting to note about this. I found that a lot of times when I start this process, for some reason, it starts to move the bit in the opposite direction that it's supposed to. But one thing I found that really helps to cure that is after I start the operation, if it's moving the opposite direction, I just touch it with the touch plate, and that'll kind of solve it. So I'm going to do the X first, and this time it's moving it in the proper direction, so we don't have to worry about it. Alrighty. Now I do not like to combine these. The code to combine the operations, the X and the Y, are pretty simple. But I don't like to combine them because, for one, I like to rotate this piece around so that it's always making contact with the same two surfaces. For the X-axis, it's across here. For the Y-axis, it's across here. I find it's a little more accurate that way, and when doing this, accuracy is absolutely what I'm striving for. And I'm going to have to do this actually twice. I screwed up. I did it on the 1/8 inch, and I'm actually need to do it on the 1/4 inch. This time it's moving backwards, like I said before. So we'll try it one more time, backwards. Now it should do it forwards this time. Yeah, there she goes. Make sure that's snugly in the corner. And we shall wait. Alrighty. Rotate this around. And now we do the X-axis. All right. We want to move that out of the way. just to make sure it goes right where it should. I'll return it to 0. That's exactly where it should be. So we're going to send it way up out of the way. All right. Now what I want to do is re-register for my piece of wood. And the way that I do that now, because the wood is going to go past here, I had to flip this arm over to the other side. And I'll be using this hole right here for a register pin. Which we will test to make sure it's going to fit properly. This is my fretboard. Now see, this has to be moved down here so that I can plane this part. I wish I had a longer machine, and I'm going to lengthen this machine here in the near future. But for right now, and this is like a test, make sure that it actually fits on there, and it does. So now we'll put down the tape. Before I do that, alrighty, I just have to make sure I don't cover up my registration hole there. Put a piece on the back here. This actually does not require much super glue to hold it. At all. And in this case also, I'm not even really particularly worried about if the clamps leave a slight depression in the wood. Because it's going to be pretty much taken off of there. Make sure this is secure. Now what I want to do, raise the Z up a little bit to make sure it doesn't run into my workpiece at all. Then I'll tell it to return to 0. Right exactly where it should be. Now I'm going to Z out the Z axis, or zero, excuse me, zero out the Z axis. Alrighty. There's that. Now I want to return it home. That's pretty much exactly where it needs to be. We will raise this up a couple steps, and we'll get right into doing the roughing operation. Okay, here we go.